guys, Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 8, Episode 11. The episode picks up where left off, and Andy's still having a conversation with Robin, and Robin told her, I don't know why you're trying to fight me on this. Like I told Fatima, we're all on the same page. Robin's like, I only want to help you. Andy's like, why do you think helping me is keeping me in the house like I'm some helpless princess? Robin's like, optics, how would it look to Agent Watt that the man you love is in the hospital and you're back to work? Andy's like, you know what, I don't care, and you and I both know that I didn't stab you. Andy's like, I know I shouldn't have gotten involved with him, but I'm not about to let everything I worked for go down the drain because he got stabbed. Robin tells Andi that she needs to consider her actions and the integrity and the credibility of the law firm. Andy's like, my reputation about billionaire clients to the firm. Robin's like, I'm not trying to diminish what you've done. Andy's like, why are you trying to hold me back? Robin's like, I'm not, but the other partners are not going to sit by while you keep getting in this scandal after scandal. Andy's like, so you're calling me damaged goods? Robin's like, no, I'm not. Robin's like, actually, you're the most incredible person that I know and love. Andy said, oh, now you're gaslighting me. Robin's like, no, I'm not. I'm just doing what I should have did the other day and told you how I feel. Andy's like, what you mean by that? Robin's like, if I would have used my words instead of my lips, there would be no tension right now. Andy's like, this has nothing to do with the kiss that didn't happen. Robin's like, well, what if it did happen? How would you feel? Andy's like, why are you asking me that? Robin's like, I would be lying if I said I didn't want the consent to kiss your lips right now. Andy's like, well, nobody's asked for my consent to kiss my lips. Robin's basically like, I always had feelings for you, and the feelings that I have for you are very strong, and I always wanted to keep it professional, so I had to respect. Tell me that I'm not the only one that's feeling this way, and you feel the same way too, and that I don't have to run from this feeling no more. Andy heard this man feeling so bad, she was like, you could keep your lips and your sweet talk to yourself, I don't want to hear it. Andy's like, I'm going back to the office anyway. Robin's like, I didn't tell you all of that just to stop you from going to the office. I really do like you. Andy's like, really? Because I just expressed my feelings about my livelihood and you made it about yourself and you wanted to kiss me. I see that Gary's not the only one who's a narcissist. Robin's like, you know what? You got that and I'm not going to stand in your way, so when can we expect you back at the firm? Next week? Andy's like, no, you can expect me back today. Andy's like, no, you can expect me back today. Robin's like, well, there's not that much time in the day left. Andy's like, there's some work is better than no work. Over at the police precinct, Jordan is talking to one of the officers because he's trying to see what's taking Penelope so long back there. And the officer's like, the longer she's back there, the worse that it is. He's like, don't I know you? You're that pedophile that did that stuff to that girl. Jordan's like, I didn't do that. That girl was paid to say that stuff. He proceeds to call Jordan everything but a child of God. Then she brings up Penelope and Andi and how Gary was messing with both of them at the same time, and Andy's probably the reason that Gary got stabbed. Jordan tells the officer that she's being highly appropriate, which she is, because why is Jordan's business in your business? He just asked a question about his sister, and you went on a whole tangent. Over at the salon, Karen is doing one of her clients' hair, and that's when she gets a call from Aaron to talk about the business plan, and Karen's like, I want to talk it over in person, so they agree to do dinner. She gets off the phone with Aaron. She has 50-11 texts from Zach with baby stuff. From pacifiers to breastfeeding to schools and all this other stuff. Aaron's like, Zach is texting me telling me not to breastfeed so that him and Fatima could take the baby sooner. This whole thing is going on. Karen is proceeding to burn her client's hair, and the client is like, Karen, you're burning my hair, girl. You could lay some hair, but you're distracted, so I'm gonna come back another day. Over at the basketball court, Rich and Sabrina are preparing for that little love and basketball moment where they play basketball against each other. He's like, where's Maurice and Grace? And Sabrina lets Rich know that Maurice isn't coming because he just got his nails done and he doesn't want to touch no balls. Some time passes and Sabrina winds up winning the game, so they had a bet of if somebody wins, you gotta give the other person a bubble bath, so Sabrina wins, so she gets her bubble bath, I guess. While they're sitting there talking, Rich gets a call from the doctor letting him know that he needs to come in and it seems like something bad. Over at the law firm, Hayden is leaving for the day and he's like, if anybody's looking for me, tell them I went to a meeting. Hayden's like, you know what, you feeling yourself since you snitched on me to Robin. Don't get too comfortable. Once Andi goes down for stabbing Gary, there is no need for Robin to keep you around. He basically calls Andi a hoe in the process, and Fatima's like, speaking of hoes, how's Tamar doing? Hayden's like, watch how you talk about my woman, because if I start talking about Zach and all his baby kids, you'll be ready to go to war. Fatima's like, there's no need to get hostile. I was just trying to make a friendly conversation. Speaking of friendly conversation, how's Gary doing? Did you go visit him in the hospital? And if you do, you should bring Tamara. He would enjoy the company. She makes it to the law firm and she's in the law firm parking lot and she's just walking and there's some random man behind her and she doesn't have her hand on the swivel. So knowing that parking lot is dark, she doesn't look around nothing, but she just keeps walking and she feels somebody and she's like, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright. All I know is that in the end, Andi better use the fighting skills that Fatima taught her. Andi finally makes it into the law firm, and Fatima's so excited to see her. She's like, what are you doing here? Andy's like, I had to come back. Fatima's basically like, I'm glad you're back, but you should be a little leery because they're in there having a meeting, and I think it's about you. Fatima's like, Robin didn't tell you? Andy's like, no. Fatima's like, that's that sneaky stuff I'm talking about. So the meeting's over, and Mr. Benson walks out, and he's like, Andi, I'm sorry it had to be this way. That's when Andy's like, can somebody just tell me what's going on? And that's when Robin comes out, and he's like, Fatima's like, Robin? Robin's like, it's after 7. Shouldn't you be heading home? Fatima's like, yeah, but since my boss is back, I'll be here anyway that she needs me to be. Andi tells Fatima to go home and she'll handle it from here. Fatima's like, let me know if anything goes down. I'll be back with my bag, the heavy one. And Andy's like, so you don't want to tell me what that meeting was? I'm assuming that meeting was about me? Robin's like, yeah, it was. And I'm sorry that it had to be this way. I wanted your leave to be voluntary, but it's mandatory. So you're on mandatory leave. Andy's like, so what about the offer to become managing partner? Robin's like, they resented that too, I'm sorry. Andy's like, you son of a bee, this is what you wanted the whole time. Then Andi slaps Robin, and I'm like, she has hands for everybody but Penelope. She's like, have fun running this firm into the ground. Over at the hospital, Gary and Hudson are going back and forth, and Gary doesn't want to listen to Hudson, so he's like, if you don't stop resisting, I'm gonna have them strap you to the bed. Gary's like, you can't keep me here against my will. Hudson's like, I see that your memory loss hasn't stopped you from being an a-hole. He's like, where Andi? I wish she would be here instead of you. Hudson's basically like, I'm sorry to break it to you, but Andi don't care nothing about you. She actually loves you. And Hudson goes on to call Gary a dumbass, and Gary's like, who you talking to? Hudson's like, I'm talking to you. Gary's like, where's Andi? Hudson's like, Andi's the last person you should trust. Gary's like, she's my fiance, don't say that. Hudson's like, well, you had about 5 or 6 of them. None of this is real. Hudson's like, I'm the last and loyal friend that you have, so you better start treating me like it. Hudson's like, I didn't want to do this, but Andi's most likely the person that stabbed you. She hates you and all this other stuff. Hudson then is like, I don't want to do this, but since you're a danger to yourself, you know what? Sedate him. He's tackling the nurse. Is like, no, get off of me, get off of me. Don't touch me, don't touch me. Over at Danny invites Tony over for dinner, and this is going to be a sober dinner with no alcohol, no vape, no nothing, right? Tony's like, you know what, I like this, and then they start going back to what they was doing, getting down to business. And Danny's like, you know what, I'm thinking about Carisha and what she said, and I don't want to do this no more. Tony is like, you do deserve the veto, so Danny's like, yeah, you right, Rome wasn't built in a day. And then she's like, I still don't want to do it, though. Tony's like, I'm sorry if I said anything to trigger you. Danny's like, no, you didn't. Tony's like, you're clearly going through something, so I think it's best that we talk about your issues. Danny's like, I wish you would stop talking about coping mechanisms and trauma and triggers for one night. Tony's like, yeah, let's pretend like nothing ever happened. Danny's like, I wish you would stop psychoanalyzing me, and if you can't do that, you can go home. Tony's like, you for real? Okay, bet. So Tony gets up to leave, and he's like, I don't stay anywhere that I'm not wanted. So Danny goes, she picks up the flowers and throws at him because he takes a bottle of wine. Once Tony leaves, Danny starts feeling heart palpitations. So she grabs the vape to calm her down. That doesn't work. So she grabs her chest again. She reaches for her phone to call 911, and she's like, hey, I'm having a heart attack. Danny, you're not having a heart attack, you're having a panic attack. Over at Zach and Fatima's, Karen goes over there to talk to Zach, and Fatima's basically like, hey Karen, what are you doing here? Karen's like, I come to talk to Zach. Fatima's like, you could have just called him. She's like, you know what, come on in. That's when Zach comes down the stairs, and he's like, Karen, what you doing here? Karen's like, I'm here because you kept texting me 11 times. Fatima's like, well, you could have just texted him back and told him to stop. Zach's like, Karen, I see you got on my list. Karen's like, yeah, I got all of them. The baby feeding list, the school list, the pacifier list. Fatima's like, the baby's not even here yet. Karen's like, right. Zach is like, so y'all blaming me for being proactive? Karen is like, you're not even having a conversation with me. You're texting me every 5 minutes and you're not even letting me reply. Karen is like, that's more stressful than helpful. Fatima's like, why didn't you just text him to stop? Karen's like, I couldn't, and I was tired of texting. I didn't want my phone to keep going off. Karen's like, I just came over here to nip this in the bud. Zach is like, what are we nipping? Karen's like, you. Karen's like, I get that you want to be a proactive father and you want to be there. Karen is like, where I draw the line is you trying to dictate whether I breastfeed my baby or not. Zach is like, all I was trying to do was help. I was trying to just get one baby off your hands so I could get the baby. Karen and Fatima in unison say that was not your decision to make. Karen's like, I understand that we're all in a unique situation, but since you and Fatima want to help, you can always come to my house. Zach is like, what if I don't want to come? Fatima's like, the twins aren't even here yet. We could talk about that when we get there. Over at Hayden's, Tamar and Hayden just got done doing business. Hayden's like, tell me I'm the best you ever had. Am I the best you ever had? Tamara's in her line like, yeah. Tamara wants to kiss him. But Hayden's like, I don't want my mouth to be anywhere where Gary's private parts have been. And Hayden's like, have you told anybody about the whole Gary situation? And Tamara's like, why are you asking me that? Hayden's like, I just don't want nobody in their business. Tamara's like, no, you're just paranoid. Hayden's like, yeah, I'm paranoid like a nigga that just caught his friend sleeping with his girl. He's like, I'm going to the hospital to see Gary. I need to have a conversation with him. Tamara's like, the last time you went to go have a conversation with Gary, he ended up with a knife in his chest. Over at the precinct, Penelope's getting questioned by Agent Watney. She's basically telling him everything that she told Jordan about how she blacks out and she don't remember. How she followed Gary to the banquet hall that night and how Jordan found her with blood on her hands, and she's like, since his blood is on my hands, that means I did it, right? I stabbed Gary. Agent Watt is like, I wouldn't be mad at you if you did. He put you through a lot. Penelope's like, I've made a promise to myself that I would never let Gary win again. Penelope is basically like, the only thing I'm guilty of is loving Gary even though I shouldn't have. I blame myself for wanting love so bad that I ignored everything. Penelope is the world's most dumbest criminal even if I ever seen one. Even though we know that she didn't do this. Why would you confess to a crime like? So the interrogation's over and Jordan's like, so is she free to go? It's like, what happened? Agent Y is like, she's under the arrest for the attempted murder of Gary Borders. Jordan's like, how? She didn't even do this. Agent Y is like, you sure? Because she confessed. Back over in the law firm parking lot, Andy's still being followed by that man, and I hope she just uses the fighting skills that Fatima taught her, because she's definitely going to need them. Back over at the hospital, Hudson's on the phone with somebody, and he's like, look, we may have a problem. I can't talk right now. Let me go somewhere more private. We don't hear the end of that conversation. Oh, this got me thinking, is Hudson working with Robin or is he working with Aaron? But he definitely working with somebody. He's not on this. He can't be Hayden because the next thing we know is Hayden walking into Gary's hospital room and he's like, he calls Gary a dirty backstabbing him effort. He's like, after everything I've done for you, you do me this way? You deserve to die. Then he takes the pillow. Hayden takes the pillow and tries to suffocate Gary with it. And I'm like, let me find out. Hayden's I'm not a killer, but don't push me. But let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications. Bye!